Hello! Welcome to 21 Questions with Silver and Kaya to celebrate the 21st chapter of Book of Fates, their interactive dark fantasy. Hello, guys!
Hello, Hannah.
I'm Hannah. I am the editor for Book of Fates, and I am going to ask them some questions. Ready?
So nice of you to have us today.
Yes, on my interview thing that I've only done right now for you.
It's very considerate. Yeah, we appreciate it a lot, Hannah. Thank you so much for having us on your show.
It's an honor.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Thank you so much for coming. All right, let's get into it. Question number 1. When you go about writing a new chapter of Book of Fates, how do you divide up the roles? Who writes? Who draws? What's your process for coming out with the next chapter?
All right. We start out by brainstorming on Monday morning. Usually takes a couple of hours. You just throw in ideas and kind of bullet point a few things that should happen in the next chapter based on the last answer. So we
never know what's going to happen otherwise. Yeah. We don't plan what the next chapter entails until the
we
closes.
can't plan. Yeah. Then one of us, usually you start writing, then I do another pass, we edit, and then we throw it to Hannah.
Yeah.
And the one who has more time that week or wants to do it does an illustration also. So we basically
Sometimes we work on the same illustration, like drawing it from one person to another.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a mess. We don't have it like fully beautifully processed, but we're getting smoother.
Yeah.
It's a creative process is an evolving thing, right? I think this
That's
is how
right.
this works.
Seems
All
to
right.
work so far.
Well, question 2 is, does the art inspire the story or does the story inspire the art? And since your process kind of shifts week to week, have you had something where the art came first? Or is it usually brainstorming story?
Always story.
Mm-hmm.
We always come up with an idea for the illustration after the brainstorm.
Yeah.
Has the idea for the illustration ever changed the way the story went, or is it usually pretty set by that point?
Not how the story went.
Details.
Sometimes we add details after the illustration is done.
Very cool. All right, number 3. Here we go. What was the biggest influence for Book of Fates, and was there a pivotal inspiration that spawned the project?
There was the fact that we moved to the coast of Portugal, and we're living next to this beautiful, vast ocean, and we were walking down the beach, and I'm feeling like this would make a really cool story.
It's such an epic view, so it was just like pure inspiration.
It's like living in a painting.
I think Silva was thinking about using the environment for like a few months before we started writing Book of Fates. So.
Where did we come up with the choose your own adventure part of it?
I don't know. Do you remember, Hannah?
I think we've been just throwing it around for a really long time. Like, hey, maybe it could be a cool idea to do something like this or that.
We were stuck on with Tower 6, and we were remembering how Round Trick Run was such a nice process with having something to release every week and having that kind of reader interaction. And I think we started just kind of spinning from there.
Yeah.
To have something that pushes us to work through our
we have to deliver always.
Yeah.
Very cool. Man. Okay, so that was question 5, people. We're going to jump back to question 4 because question 5 was how you chose choose your own adventure as a format. So we've got that one. Bouncing back.
Get 2 for your money, right?
Well, now I'll have to see if I can. Well, we'll see. Maybe we'll get a bonus one at the end to make it a proper 21. So
also we're huge D&D players. Or like we love nerding it out. So it's kind of like running your own campaign.
Silva's been trying to find friends to play D&D with, and nobody just there's not enough nerds here. So
yeah. But that's why we have our own little group now.
Was Dark Souls part of the influence too?
It was
Yeah,
initially, yeah.
initially.
I don't think it's like lasted through the process.
There's only so much like just bleak darkness that we could take, I guess, with a random thing of the choose your own adventure. The moment we chose ore as the main weapon, it kind of like
Dark
swifted
Souls, flew out the window.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So if the coast sort of inspired the setting and feel, was there any visual inspirations for the knight himself, for our eternal protagonist?
You did something. I don't know, like how did you come up with that?
I put a skull on top of an armor.
Yeah, but why?
Because it looks cool.
There you go.
That's a great answer.
I like skulls and I like armors and knights. And I said, Kaya, this is our new main character.
And I said yes.
You added wings.
I added wings.
Now we're stuck with the wings.
I know, it's so hard to draw.
Yeah.
And we haven't actually mentioned in the writing that he has wings.
Maybe one day when he kind of like...
We actually... no, we have mentioned the skull face, but it kind of came a little late. Because, he wakes up on the shore. And
doesn't really have a mirror.
He doesn't have a mirror. So, like, how do we... I don't know. I feel like it came a little late. It's fine.
That's why we have pictures.
That's why we have pictures.
Yeah. I mean, our editor, Hannah, has not said anything about that. So.
Exactly. So it must be okay.
Yeah.
It must be fine then.
Yeah. We trust her completely. So.
I'm sure it's all okay. I'm sure that's fine. All right. Back on track with question 6. So you said that you don't really plan beyond the vote for each one, but have you ever had a storyline that like really surprised you with how off from what you were thinking the story was going to be? Like a vote that more dramatically changed the direction?
Which one are you thinking of?
Well, one thing was when the fates chose that we go downstairs from Tursifa's flying tower.
Yeah, we were so sure everybody would pick the crashing the tower into or Tursifa's home into the monster's lair or something.
Yeah, it was.
And then
so
we're like,
oh,
we're doing the dungeon thing now.
There we go.
But I mean, it wasn't like we didn't have a grand plan or anything. It was so it didn't really derail us that much or anything.
No.
It was just surprising.
It was surprising though. It was surprising that that the majority didn't choose Bob to be the name of the character.
That was my biggest fear.
Bob the Knight.
I would have died inside a little bit if it was Bob the Knight.
Bob the Ore Knight. I keep calling the Knight Bro, and I put him on like Reddit or something like that. Like, Knight Bro fighting a monster and descriptions like that.
It's fine as long as it's not Bob.
Yeah.
Knight Bro is good. Bob, not so much.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
That's the line.
It's good to have standards. It's nice to have fun.
Very high standard.
So 7 is, do you two ever disagree when you brainstorm? And how do you resolve things if you have very different ideas of where the story should go?
Well, if we have very different ideas, neither of them is correct. And then we just have to come up with something different.
Yeah. I mean, if we can't get one person on our side with an idea, then it's probably not like a viable thing for a bigger audience. That's the theory.
That's so civilized. I love it. Were there any bits of the potential story that you were particularly sorry to leave behind?
Well, so we didn't... Oh, yeah, one thing that I forgot. We were surprised that Tursifa died, like, in chapter 3.
Oh, yeah.
He was supposed to be like one of the people who tells about the island. And
Yeah, he was supposed to be our guide.
yeah.
Now we're just wondering and like, I wonder what's happening here.
Poor Turcival.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Nobody knows. Because Turcival's dead.
Because everybody's dead.
Everybody's dead.
Yeah. Sorry, what was the question?
What are we sorry to leave behind?
Well, yeah, we're sorry to leave behind Turcival because I guess like we also started it with pretty bare bones ideas what the story was supposed to be, but we had like a bigger understanding what Turcival and the monster's relationship would be, and we wanted to play the drama and see also like make it really hard to choose between them. But no, he died. So
Tragically.
tragically.
Turcival.
I think that's when we also learned the hard lesson of don't plan.
Yeah.
Because
we stopped planning after that.
Yeah, because otherwise we'd have to plan like an infinite amount of different options all the time.
And I think that was chapter 2 or
chapter 3, something like that. Yeah.
So we learned our lesson very fast.
As you're writing the different characters, do you assign voices to them?
Yes.
Yeah.
like Dawn is on a never-ending ramble. She was inspired by Anne of Green Gables.
Yeah.
And she's delighted of everything, and everything's so beautiful and romantic and nice, and it's just full of hope and dreams, and also like very nice thing to have in a very otherwise bleaky environment.
I think she's our strongest voice anyway. So.
Yeah. And then we have otherwise like crumpy people and
more general like tags.
And monsters, like the mushroom people. This is like
squeaky noises.
Bad grammar.
It's very sophisticated.
Do these voices come out as you're reading them aloud for edits? Reading chapters aloud for edits?
They do.
Always.
All right, Fates. Bother them for recordings of that.
One day we want to do that. We just have to get our act together.
I think that would be fun. Do you listen to music when you're working on Book of Fates? What's the playlist?
I don't think it has a specific playlist.
No, we were talking about this yesterday because I was trying to think about because I saw this question specifically beforehand. Otherwise, all these are like surprises to us.
I haven't seen any of them.
I only saw that question, and that made me wonder also, like, okay, do we have a music list? But I think it goes more into the epic fantasy inspired by games and epic fantasy movies and more ambient and orchestral and
a lot of soundtracks, I think. It's good to have something play that doesn't have singing in it, so you don't hear words.
Yeah, and since also the knight was an enigma to us as well from the beginning, because we didn't know his personality at all, because that was up to the fates, right? Being having lost his memory as well, we couldn't assign a strong personality to him. So having like an initial strong mood that the knight will always be brooding, or the knight will always be listening to punk rock or metal, would be kind of like taking the fun out from the fates, who then started to define the character more for us by telling us or showing patterns of decision making. And
I guess so, yeah.
An extension of that, any favorite music to just work to in general, not necessarily Book of Fates related?
My latest most used playlist is the soundtrack of what's it called? What's a TV series with the cowboys and robots?
Westworld?
Westworld soundtrack. It's
I was going to say
beautiful.
Firefly.
No robots.
True, that's true. I'm listening to Sergio Leone's.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, but both westerns though.
Yeah, weird. Okay.
There's a theme. I love it. All right, we're actually on question 11.
Oh,
Yay.
Nice. Halfway through.
Now that you've been at it for a while, how is making Book of Fates different from your original expectations?
I don't remember my expectations.
we just kind of like flew into it, so we didn't
I think
make any big.
we prepared for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like, you had the idea of just like, let's do this. We prepared for 2 weeks and then we launched.
Yeah.
So I don't remember expectations.
No, I mean, well, what has surprised us a lot is the having the community part with us. How much like of the old Runfic Run readers
yeah,
are
that's
still
true.
have remembered us, because we've been hibernating for so long, so it's a big surprise that they come out and supported us so much through this time, and been active with the community. And that's really fun. I think that's my favorite part is having the community mess with the game.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Aw, it's so exciting. Question 12. What would be your advice to somebody who was crazy enough to try this interactive approach to storytelling?
All right. Come up with a bare bones kind of a setting. Come up with some location ideas so you know you have something in your back pocket to throw in. Some character ideas so you have in your back pocket so you can throw in those too. Like a basic starting point storyline, and then don't plan.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be very, very sorry and disappointed if you're going to plan anything.
So main advice, don't plan too much.
Do some world building. Don't do story like plot planning.
Yeah. I also suggest don't do a character who has amnesia. I don't think that is the easiest way of doing a character either, because it can act very unpredictably, or have a character who's not really motivated to do anything because you don't know what they want or need to do. Instead, if you have a character who has really strong background already, you can push the choices to be more interesting with there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. Okay, we're moving on to story questions now from all our many process questions. Despite the fact that you've answered this already, I'm leaving it in because it was important to the Fates to know if there was any chance that Tersifer was going to live. And now we know for sure, yes.
There was.
He had an important role to play.
Yeah, we were disappointed to kill him, but also at the same time we were satisfied because we could show the Fates that there is consequences to your actions, and it's not on rails. The story we haven't planned it out, and we're not gonna like take the story where we want it to be just because we're actually writing it in the end. If the Fates choose to neglect a character or fool around too much or not enough, then there will be consequences. Sometimes characters die.
So question 14 here is, can Ren die as a consequence of the Fates' decisions? Is the Eternal Night on the chopping block?
We decided that he can.
Yeah. He can.
So we don't know when, and we are hoping that it's going to be a satisfying death.
If he dies.
If he dies.
Or a satisfying long life.
Or happy ever after.
Maybe he makes it out. Maybe the Fates let him go someday.
Yeah.
Maybe.
See. All right. Next question. The setting of Book of Fates is deeply interesting. Do you see yourselves exploring the world after this story wraps up and in different ways? Hint, hint, a D&D style campaign setting, perhaps?
We've been thinking... So we've been... throwing around an idea of having actually writing a trilogy in the setting, like of novels. We've been throwing out an idea of another
choose your own
adventure. Oh, like the same setup as we have with Ren. After Ren's story wraps up in whatever way it will. But yeah, I think those are the two that we've been thinking about.
Yeah. We've been uncertain about a series of novels or things like that because not sure if
no promises.
Yeah.
It's just something that we've been like
playing around
poking
with
at.
Yeah. And there is a big world that we love to explore and do a lot of things like the postcards and imagine what there is. It's just a matter of convenient timing.
Yeah.
You've said that you don't plan a whole lot going forward, but do you have loose ideas of where the story could end or potential endings kind of in mind for the long-term story?
Well, it depends a lot, I guess. If we ever first we have to get back to. I mean, we didn't decide that would be even an option for Ren to go back to his homeland when we started this whole thing.
Yeah.
So it's more about taking it one arc at a time and seeing, does this arc now end with the promise that we have started it with, and then what is the next step?
Gotcha. And then the last question from the story section is, is there any chance the fates are going to have to answer for the consequences of messing around with mortals? Is there any chance of some meta retribution?
Meta retribution. I haven't thought of that. The fates are giving us ideas.
You thought about it in different ways, though.
What?
Well, yeah, I'm not gonna open that kind of charge now.
Next question?
Yeah.
I guess so.
Next question. Okay, on to silly fun stuff. One of your fates would very much like your thoughts on giraffes. Are they too tall? Any other thoughts on these majestic creatures?
They are definitely too tall. Just look at the size of their neck. Who the hell has that size of a neck? Those things belong to Jurassic Park. Definitely.
Good.
We're going with too tall.
Yeah, too tall. I mean, just off with the heads.
Oh, no. I hope we don't put giraffes in Ferrex.
It's not my fault. That's what you get for having too tall of a head.
Poor giraffes. Next, any tattoos you'd be willing to show us? We've got someone curious about seeing all your beautiful tattoos.
That thing. There's stuff here. There's stuff here.
Same as well. Both of our arms are covered with tattoos. I don't want to do like a nudie show now. So we're not asking enough of tips.
Not our rating today.
Yeah.
But, stuff here.
Yeah, we do our own tattoos to each other, and basically are adding all the time, all over to the bodies.
And you can follow Silver on Instagram.
That's right.
Because he posts little clips sometimes of them working on tattoos.
That's right. It's been a while though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's your handle, Silver?
Oh,
do you want me to check?
You might have to. I think it's Silver_sept13, like September 30.
You can go on with the questions.
Yeah, what's this Instagram anyways?
All right, question 20.
20 already.
Yeah.
20? Nice.
You guys are moving through it. There's a weird echo. Are we good?
We can put a link to the handle
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll put a link to the YouTube description.
Very cool. What, if any, childhood stories or fables have affected your writing or drawing styles?
Definitely grim stories.
Yeah, I was thinking of that too. I think those are the closest ones.
And also things like the Moomins.
Have they affected our?
I think, yeah, like especially when I didn't consider it when I was growing up, but now that I look back, it has that. It's actually quite gothic in many ways, and
Well, the original,
yeah,
one, not the TV series.
but the TV series is also like it has this sometimes very scary Ghibli-esque feeling when the monsters come, or I don't know, but especially the comics, I think.
The comics also, but the original books are really dark.
Yeah. Then also Astrid
Astrid Lindgren.
Yeah, Astrid Lindgren and her Pippi Longstockings.
Yeah. But she has a lot of amazing books.
That's true.
Yeah.
Definitely the grim ones.
Grimm's Fairy Tales and Moomins. I love it. All right, 21. Last question.
Yeah.
You two have been working together for a long time. Do you leave Easter eggs or in-jokes for each other in your work?
No.
Oh, man. Easy last question.
What's up with that question, Hannah? No, it's a good question, but
it would be much more fun if we did.
It probably would be much more fun.
I haven't thought of that.
Yeah. I think we're very kind of
should.
we should just mess up each other's files all the time.
That would make the workflow so much better.
It probably wouldn't. Because I know we also like when the other person has written something or put down something, we respect it and we want to like.
Yeah, but I think
maintain
like
it.
by Easter eggs they would mean that like.
Maybe we're not just that
in-joke
funny.
Yeah, maybe we're just not that funny.
Yeah, super serious people.
Well, there you have it, Fates. 21 questions and 21 answers with Silver and Kaya. Special thing. Oh, sorry.
No. I was just going to say thank you so much, Hannah, for doing this for us.
Yeah, thank you for putting them together. And doing all the asking and interviewing.
Yeah.
Other you guys with questions. The questions came from the fabulous Sarah and Brandon, Jen, Jacob, Bira, The Big, and Karen. We appreciate appreciating all those thoughts from you. You can find Book of Fates at bookoffates.com and support these guys on their Patreon under SK Surmail.
Awesome.
Oh.
Woo!
It was great to be on your show.
I'm glad to have created the show for you. This is the only episode. We're done now.
Thank you, Fates.